This video might end up being a massive win or a massive fail. I don't know. You might end up seeing a grown man cry like a little baby. I have no idea what's inside this box. I know what it should be, but I don't truly know, because this is another video of me unboxing stuff from China. I'm gonna let you guys in on the surprise, and I will try to share the emotions with you. And to be quite honest, I kind of envy you guys for sitting in your seat right now and not mine, because this is gonna be epic. This video was supposed to be released a long time ago, but because of the virus that no one can talk about, because otherwise this video will be hit with the demonetize, then we are gonna simply not mention it by name. But this has taken a long time to get to me. Other than that, the shipping company decided to ship the parcel to my city. It was literally within hand's reach. And then the next time I tracked it after the weekend, bam, they had shipped it to another city again because of a mistake. No! So it's finally on my table. I was so excited when I finally got the news this morning that it made it all the way here. Oh, wow. That is some beautiful Tree Burgers merch. Link in the description. Nevertheless, this card in here should be a 1070. The total price that I paid for this, $160. Is this new? Well, I don't have any idea whatsoever, but the company that sold it to me said that this is a very new GTX 1070. Hopefully it should be. Let's grab my certified unboxing IKEA knife right here. Let's get started. Perfect. So let's see if we can cut a nice little bam. There we go, in the cover of moisture rain protection thingy. I think it's just tape that they put over it. Potentially a plastic bag. Away with that, and let's rip this bad boy open. As I can see, my microphone stand, or not my microphone stand, but my camera stand is actually super unstable. So let's see if we can be just a bit cautious about this. Yep. All right, we made it through the first layer. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Okay, we made it through another layer of something. They really actually did a good job at boxing this up. You rarely see that. So kudos to the company. If this is a great success and you guys want to know more about how I did this, I actually have done one video already on how I shop most of my stuff from China. You can see there will be a link, right? I think they actually usually turn up over here. I gotta stop pointing with a knife. That's not very nice. So you can learn some of this. I do not recommend doing this in general because it's a hard and you know, time-consuming process to shop from China. I hope it was supposed to go through like that. It's a hard and time-consuming process to shop from China. For the most part, the money that you save from doing it, you've wasted on spending your miserable life trying to translate Chinese pages, unless you've been granted with the, you know, gift of speaking Chinese, which I envy you for if you can. Then I don't think it's worth it for a lot of the time. But I'm not gonna stop you either. I need to think if they ever wanted me to get this out of here. This is literally wrapped like no tomorrow, but here we go. I start seeing a box in here, so there's another box inside the box. That is a great start. I'm still here. All right, I'm simply gonna give up on that, and then because I have a box here now, so let's just. Ooh, I think I found it. I see something under here. Ha ha! Another box. See what's hiding underneath here? This is wrapped so well. I've never seen a wrapping job quite like this. Okay, moment of truth. I see a fully black box, which is not very, that's not really how I remember 1070 boxes for the Founders Edition, at least. Let's just keep it cool. It can be a replacement box. Something might have happened to the box. It's not a 1070 Founders Edition box. Let me just put it like that. it's a box nevertheless, and I would say, judging from the sizing of this, like I did not get scammed. I did not get scammed. I'm gonna open it up and I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna let you guys get the first look here. Shit, that was... Ah! This looks promising. Now I'm beginning to think if this is not a new GTX 1070, but it is indeed a 1070. They just didn't sell me a new one, so they had to find a replacement box for it. Gigabyte qualified. Okay, so not the OG static box either. Okay, this is a tough one. I'll let you guys have a look here. So especially try to pay attention to, you know, the front here. It doesn't really want to refocus. Will you refocus? Hello? Hello? Okay, nope. Good. Well, then screw you, camera. But as you can see right here, I feel like it is. There is no real scratching to it at all, which is quite surprising, but there are some greasy fingers, which could be this card is super cold right now. So I'm assuming that any moisture might be building up on the inside of the glass, or the, what do you say, plastic panel here at the front. And I'm assuming that that might create some sort of, I think there is some dust buildup on the fan here. That is hard for me to judge. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but it's looking very clean. At least they gave this a very, very competent clean. But then I'm looking at the PCIe slot, or the connector, and that one looks like it has never been inserted into anything before. And likewise, if you take a look at the back, because the back has my greasy fingers on it now. Again, it's very cold, so it will, you know, get those moisty fingers all over it. But I mean, from a scratch perspective, did we get a new GTX 1070? I'm beginning to wonder. Things check out. GeForce GTX 1070, everything is looking good. It is definitely looking good for us right now. It is definitely looking good. I want to fire up this bad boy and get it thrown into the computer and see what we are actually dealing with here, because I think I have found dust inside the system. There is like minimal dust in there. So either this card was cleaned up really well, spot right there above my finger. So either this card has had a very thorough cleaning, because all of the heat fins are looking so good. Like if I hold it up, I can see the light shining in through. There is little to no dust buildup in here. Like there is practically none. There are like 1 or 2 fibers somewhere, but not like dust, balls of dust and buildup like that. There's just like dust fibers, like one here, one there. It just seems too little to this card to have ever run, but I still don't want to believe that this is a new card. Let's assume that this is a very lightly used GTX 1070 just for now, because I don't want to sit here and claim that I've gotten a new, completely new 1070 for you guys if that is not the case. So until we know more, I am actually just gonna, I feel like it would only be right to actually get this slapped into the machine and see how it works. So that will be the next job for us, and see if you can actually find out what this card is. If you're interested in knowing about the performance of this, you know, now I'm just assuming that it is actually working the way that it's supposed to work. We will do another video on this where we will try to benchmark this and see if this GTX was, which I will now assume is probably one of the cheapest GTX Founders Edition that you have seen on YouTube by now. We will see if this is actually viable for some gaming, because if it is, then we have gotten a lot of power for a very, very budget price, which is nice. So I had the time to install the card, which went absolutely fine, and I have updated the drivers for all of the newest GeForce Experience drivers just to make sure that nothing was conflicting in case that would be an issue. And as you can see from the system right here right now, let's just turn CPU-C over to the graphics card as well. And there we go, everything's been detected just fine. The hardware monitor is detecting a GTX 1070, showing a temperature that at the moment I find quite high for a card that is idling at the moment. I am not using NVENC for recording with the system, so there shouldn't really be much load on the graphics card at the moment. And I think 1200 RPM for a fan and 47 degrees in pretty much idle for a graphics card is quite high. So I'm assuming that this might actually be a used card that has just gotten a very thorough cleaning. And potentially, if these cards are cards that are sold by a vendor who sells a lot of these, then they probably just sit there and open one card, clean it, bam, onto the next one. And someone might have messed up the cooling paste on the processor itself. That is what I'm assuming at the moment. So I will probably end up opening up this card and checking it out, just go a bit more into detail with it. But GeForce Experience is detecting the wow, and I'm searching over the CPU, big brain. But the GTX 1070 is being detected just fine in GeForce Experience as well, and I haven't really found anything that pinpoints us toward this being a fake card. So I think by now it is safe to say that this card is actually pretty good. There is only one thing left to do, and that is talk about whether the fact this graphics card is, you know, is it what is it worth it or not? Let's just round it off with that. So we are looking at a card that has a base clock of 1500 megahertz. We have a boost clock of 1683 and 8 gigs of DDR5 memory. And it is definitely also a card that I am assuming that once we get the temperature fixed, we can easily try to just do some mild overclocking on it without any issues either. So I think I've actually gotten really lucky here, and I've grabbed one hell of a steal when it comes to a good graphics card. I have scoured the internet to try and find a cheap GTX 1070, and you can get some very nice pricings on eBay or Newegg or Amazon, wherever you're looking. I've found them for around $160 there before, and for this one we paid a total of $199.78, so around $200 for this one in total. And I will say that this is a Founders Edition, so you probably won't find it this cheap a lot of places. Founders Editions usually have the tendency to be just mildly more expensive than the reference cards that you can find out there otherwise. So in my opinion, whether this card is new or not, I simply cannot figure, because it looks brand new, but it also has something that pinpoints me towards it not being new. So I guess I'll never truly find out. No matter what, I feel like I have claimed an insanely good card here for a very, very cheap price. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will subscribe and follow for the next video coming up, where we will put this card to the test and see if the GTX 1070 is still viable in 2020. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.